I work full time at nights. I go to the golf course and practice every single day before work, both my days off. I mean, this is all I've done my whole life. It's not like I magically picked up golf out of nowhere and it was like, oh, because I'm trans and I was born male that I'm magically a good golfer. I mean, that's not how any of this works.
For a lot of people, because you were born a man, you clearly have an advantage. Do you accept that?
Honestly, I 100% agree. The men do have advantages. Say you get a trans person on hormones for a year, no surgery, nothing. Of course, for the most part, they're going to have an advantage.
People tend to often point to studies, and those studies show that it is an undisputed fact that men are physically stronger than women.
Oh yeah, agreed.
And therefore, people will look at you and say, surely and clearly, it is obvious to see that you would have the upper hand as you're playing against other women.
And I would agree if that were me, say 5 years ago. I've started transitioning 8.5 years ago, and as much as I, wish I could have played back then and wanted to play, 2 years after transitioning, it's clearly unfair. I think my whole philosophy behind all this is I don't believe trans people should be banned from sports, but I do believe there need to be guidelines in effect. Because, like I said, going back even 4 years ago, or even before I had surgery, I definitely had an advantage. I would 100% agree with that. But the difference is, now the years have gone on, I'm 3 years after surgery, and my physical capabilities now, compared to back then, are night and day.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I think we could all go home and call it a day, since transgender athletes are now admitting that they have advantages over female athletes, as we saw there. So I want to talk about trans golfer Hailey Davidson, who is still playing golf and has an opportunity to compete at the LPGA. Hailey was banned from a tournament in Florida, the NXXT tournament, which is a women's tournament. But that doesn't mean that Hailey is banned from women's golf altogether. And Hailey has high hopes, but for the first time, a female golfer is speaking out. Someone who's had to compete against Hailey is speaking out anonymously and giving her perspective. Hailey actually just missed out by a fraction of qualifying for the LPGA. 2 people went forward, and Hailey is now basically on standby for the tournament, classed as what's known as an alternate player. So if a position opens up, Hailey will swoop in and have a place in the tournament. A place that belongs to a female golfer. A US golfer and a Thai golfer went ahead of Hailey. And on Instagram, Hailey said, "So you're telling me there's a chance I may not have been able to play in any tournaments these last couple of months, but that didn't stop me from continuing to put in the work into my game every single day to be ready for any next opportunity I may have to compete. Now to cross my fingers and hope for the best, no matter what. Never give up." So Hailey started hormones in 2015 and had surgery 2021. So Hailey is of the mindset that, I earned my womanhood. So although I had an advantage over women a few years ago, that's not the case now, because I've been a woman for quite some time. I've gone through all the surgery, and as far as I'm concerned, I've earned this spot with all the work I've done on myself to become a woman. And it just doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. At the end of the day, Hailey is still male and still has a male body. There's a disadvantage against other men once you're a male who takes estrogen. That will lower your performance against other men. But because of the sheer fact that you are male, you will have an advantage over females. And also, like I always say, I don't care about advantages at the end of the day. Males do not belong in women's categories. No matter what they've done to their bodies, what medications they are on, they don't belong in women's categories. An open category is the only fair solution. Or to just compete in accordance to your biological sex, like Hailey used to do. But apparently these big tournaments, LPGA, USGA, male athletes are allowed to compete if they have gone through the surgery. Now again, that is the strictest of requirements, having to go through bottom surgery I don't really think these sporting bodies should be encouraging that, but whatever. And there's this misconception that because we have the strictest of requirements, we're taking away the unfairness of allowing males into female categories. And that's just not true. The studies into this show that the advantages are not diminished by any significant amount, even after surgery, even after hormones, even when somebody transitions before puberty. And the women who have to compete against Hailey, they know this. And one of them is speaking out. So Davidson, who played for multiple men's teams in college, came within a stroke of automatically qualifying for the US Women's Open at Bradenton Country Club, not County Club, where Hailey almost got an automatic qualifier. Davidson birdied the opening playoff hole, I don't know what any of this means, to claim the first alternate spot with two-time LPGA Tour winner Jasmine Suwanna-Pura. So Jasmine Suwanna-Pura earned the second alternate professional spot, and Louise Olson Campbell had the alternate opportunity taken from her. Wow. Again, I always say, how can we justify taking a woman's spot to accommodate a male player? What is the justification for that? One of the 55 women Davidson beat in the qualifier recalled one specific moment that stood out to her during the event. Best part was when he, him, she, her, it, the Okay, let me start again. That's why she stayed anonymous, because she really wanted to speak unfiltered. So she was just like, let me say what I really think. Just keep me anonymous. Best part was when he, him, she, her, it, the hold out from 40 feet off the green and goes, F yeah, with the lowest male tone I heard all day. The female player, who requested anonymity out of concern over repercussions for speaking out, said via direct messages, everyone was in shock and not a single person clapped. So when reached out for comment, JD Sturber, the LPGA's Director of Public Relations and Executive Communications, provided the following statement. Here we go. In consultation with relevant medical, sports science and legal experts, we're continuing to review our current gender policy. The USGA did not provide a comment. Okay, that's at least they're continuing to review it. They're not saying, this is our policy, deal with it, like a lot of these sporting bodies do. And so Davidson meets eligibility requirements after reportedly undergoing gender reassignment surgery in 2021. And would acquire a spot in the US Women's Open field, which is governed by the USGA. If the first or second place finisher from the Bradenton qualifier withdraws from the tournament. So women do not withdraw under any circumstances. So the female golfer goes on to say, I'm not in agreement with the LPGA and USGA. I am more worried about the future of our daughters everywhere. Exactly. Every woman on the tour is working so hard to be on the tour and play golf for a living. Women's sports are not a backup option for mediocre male athletes. It is not fair. The player continued when asked if she believes it is fair for trans golfers to compete in women's events. There's not any other way to explain it other than if you neuter a male dog, it's still a male dog. Oh my goodness, she went there. She said, we never called them a female dog. I believe if transgender golf is getting more attention, aka popular, then let's do a trans open for them. So very well said. This female golfer, I don't know who you are, but I commend you. Absolute facts. The person is still male. They don't belong in the women's category. There are options of an open category. It was that serious. There are options of an open category. That may actually attract more transgender people to the sport, and they will have their own category. What's wrong with that? No one's saying that anybody has to be excluded and should be banned from playing. We're saying that this person should be in the correct category. Play golf all you want. but don't infringe upon women's golf because you are not female. That's it. For some people that sounds harsh, but what's even more harsh is a male athlete who has an advantage, who has admitted to having an advantage, playing in a women's tournament, hitting 40 feet and expressing themselves in a very deep masculine voice. I can just picture it now. What greater example is there that this person does not belong in a women's category? And the women who do speak out, they choose to be anonymous because of the backlash. How is that progressive for women? You can't even speak out and show your face because you know that you're going to get a lot of backlash. You're going to get harassed. You're going to get bullied. That is what is happening to female athletes who speak out. That's why they keep quiet. The sporting bodies that are there to look out for their interests turn on them too. And it's the women who end up getting suspended and banned. It makes no sense. But I'm glad she spoke out. I'm glad she spoke out. We need to have more of this. If it's going to be anonymous, whatever, just speak out because it sets the record straight. We're told this person has all this support from female golfers. We're told the women who support them represent everybody, represent all of us. That's what we're being told. So we need to see more of this. Let people know the reality of having to compete against a male athlete. If you're a female athlete out there, please have the courage to speak out. And I love how she didn't mince her words. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. And God willing, I will see you in the next video.